La ediția din 2019 a Festivalului Internațional George Enescu, publicul a avut ocazia să se reîntâlnească cu bass-baritonul galez Bryn Terfel. Carismaticul artist a fost făcut cavaler de către regina Elisabeta II în 2017, încununând astfel o carieră aflată încă în plină ascensiune.
Sir Bryn Terfel, it's a great pleasure and honor to have you back here in Bucharest. It's your second time in the Enescu Festival. How is it for you to be back?
Oh, fantastic, because the first time, of course, I was taking place of a very famous pianist. Lang Lang was sick, so I had to become Lang Lang for an evening. What a tremendous concert hall. I remember vividly the audience were a bit shocked at the beginning because, of course, I wasn't Lang Lang, and they had to come and hear a Welsh bass-baritone sing. But yeah, it's wonderful 2 years down the road to come back again.
Last time you sang for us traditional Welsh, Irish, English songs. How important is it for you to sing in your native tongue?
Really important. Of course, this is what set you on this magnificent journey of becoming a professional singer. I competed in Wales very often since my voice started developing as a bass baritone, and I competed the width and breadth of Wales. And my parents were incredibly supportive, and I think they saw that there was a talent nurturing underneath everything. Of course, I was thinking, if I win this competition, I can buy a new pair of soccer boots or a new Manchester United shirt or a new rugby ball. So I was very comfortable with singing from the onset. And of course, singing Welsh folk tunes and singing music with a harp and with the male voice choirs, these were the original crescendo into a career that spanned quite long within competing in Wales. But then I went to the Guildhall School of Music and Drama, and it became a little bit more serious. And of course, I'm in a festival now that your fantastic composer, of course, held a very strong, vivid a composition style within the Romanian folk tune aspects of his country, of course. And this is exactly what I try to do, and I carry on singing these wonderful Welsh songs. There's absolutely no reason for me to be a singer had it not been for what Wales gave a young performer, a chance to compete, a chance to perform on the stage in front of a magnificent audience, in front of great adjudicators. And yes, it was indeed the start of the snowball.
You have a very vast and diverse repertoire that includes also, we talked about the folk tunes, old-timey pop songs, but also then you go to the leader and the great roles like Boris Godunov or Wotan. How do you manage to balance these two sides of you?
Well, I think first and foremost, you have to have a certain amount of luck when you begin your career in all the auditions that you do in all the houses all over the world. And predominantly they have to maybe like what they see and hear. When I did, after the Cardiff Singer of the World in 1989, I did many auditions. And out of those constant traveling to different cities and singing to opera houses and conductors and directors, maybe I was given 4 opportunities. It's not very successful on my part, but those 4 roles that I was given was the start of my career. And then I think it's much to do about luck. who's listening to you? Who are the conductors? You know, I worked with people like Giulini, Muti, Abbado, and from the perspective of the English conductors, I worked a lot with a man called Richard Hickox, who would make careers in Britain by giving you work on the concert platform and on the recording platform also. So I've had a very diverse beginning to my career, but I think, as I said, lots of it is luck and being in the right place at the right time.
You grew, you had to grow it. It wasn't just mere luck. It started as luck, but then I imagine it was a lot of hard work. You've also sang with pop artists like Tom Jones. How is it to adapt your technique for that kind of singing?
Good question. I don't think I do adapt it. I just sing as loud as I can when I sing with the people like Tom Jones, who he himself has got a magnificent voice, still sings his songs in the same key, hitting top A's and B naturals all the time in his concerts. You know, he sings for 2 hours on the stage. I think he could have become one of the greatest tenors of our time. But of course, I think he did the right choice. But I've sung with people like Shirley Bassey and with Sting, and I've worked with Roger Waters, but these are all magnificent musicians and great minds. And when you work with people like this, you better sharpen your pencil, and a collaboration is tremendous in music. But to bridge gaps is also quite interesting. Singing Roxanne in his 60th birthday party in New York, the audience thought, who is this guy? When Sting said, well, he's singing up the street in the Metropolitan Opera, so give him a warm welcome. And I was thinking, here I am between Lady Gaga and, I can't remember, Bruce Springsteen it was, singing songs by Sting, written by Sting. I did Sweeney Todd with Emma Thompson, who is, of course, one of Hollywood's icons. But to work with somebody like that just defines how magnificent they are in their given profession. And you can only marvel and try and improve yourself, be better. Hopefully, if I played golf with Rory McIlroy, he'd make my golf game much better. You know, if I played football with Ryan Giggs, you know, I expect, I try my hardest to kick the ball nicely.
Well, you brought up Sweeney Todd. You have known love for musicals. Actually, here in Bucharest, you'll be performing from Fiddler on the Roof, from Camelot. How did this love come to be?
Well, again, there's a connection with Wales. When you start becoming successful within your studies in London, the radio and the television, they recognize the fact that some Welsh person is doing well in London, so they capitalize a little bit on young talents, which is wonderful. I would say that those are the opportunities that you are given by people like this. So you have to really start to instigate how you draw your career. So it's wonderful to think that I have roles like Wotan or Sweeney Todd or Faust or whatever. There's a story behind it. So if I sing music theatre, it's because I've sung it with the Wales male voice choirs in their miscellaneous concerts that happens around Wales constantly, nearly every weekend. And these most probably are the repertoire that I started developing and being curious about the human voice. Some Enchanted Evening, Oh What a Beautiful Morning, How to Handle a Woman, beautiful melodies and songs that people recognize. You know, they've heard these songs since they were cradled by their parents, and that's why hopefully I can still sing them.
That's the kind of music that people hum while they're walking down the street. You bring to your performances a bit of humor and a joie de vivre, if you want. How important is humor in your life?
It's very important, humor, to be able to smile and to laugh and not be too serious about yourself, you know. of course, you've worked hard in your career over the past 3 decades. And when you look back, you have very fond memories. But you should never take it too seriously. We don't become that diva. Just in fact, enjoy what happens in your journey. And I'm now 53. And I'm curious that work is still coming in with some interesting projects are coming. And I'm telling my agents, wow, I'm really amazed that these things just carry on. The profession carries on giving. And who am I not to enjoy that facet of performance? And I see it through all my colleagues, through all the wonderful singers we have in this generation. And you've had 3 of them here this week, you know. And you have a wonderful cast of Peter Grimes here. You've just had Rolando Villason with Carrie Mathison on the stage. You've just had Diana Damrau. Great singers.
Muss ich dich meiden und darf nicht minnig ein Gruß dich mehr grüßen.
It's the privilege of this festival to be able to listen to such great artists such as yourself. Coming back to the festival here, you'll be performing in one part of your program, Wagner. It's a composer that you, let's say, came a little bit later in your career to him. How did you warm up, or how did you get to know Wagner's music?
Well, from the 4 successful auditions that I made when I was still quite young and after studying at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama, I was offered Donner in Rheingold in Chicago with a magnificent cast, people like Tatiana Troyanos, James Morris was the Wotan. So immediately I had a taste of what it meant to become a part of a Wagnerian introduction to his works and music. So I sang Wagner from very early age. Then I did Wolfram in Tannhäuser in the Metropolitan Opera. Then I did The Flying Dutchman in Wales, and it's very important for me to sing for the Welsh National Opera. So if they come with a great idea, I say, yes, please, yes, can I sign the contract now, immediately, today? And of course I did the Ring Cycle in Covent Garden and in the Metropolitan Opera. I did Hans Sachs, which by any yardstick is the longest role ever written for the bass baritone. And now I think my career in Wagner is finished, because in the next 3 years it's not proposed within my diary, and I'm happy with the amount of Wagner that I have sung. It's been a tremendous journey. So I have 2 more performances of the Flying Dutchman, one in Bilbao and one in the Metropolitan Opera, and then I think I can happily hang my boots. But it doesn't say that I can sing these monologues and wonderful scenes out of context. And this is what I'm doing here. One of the monologues from Meistersinger is the arias that I would sing always in my auditions. I would always start with Non più andrai and then the Flieder monologue from Meistersinger. These were my 2 kind of calling cards. I thought that I was good singing these in auditions and that I would get work. Most probably I wasn't that good, but still I got those jobs. So, and then of course Wotan's Farewell, and I have a 2-year-old daughter now. So singing the Abschied is a completely different sense of emotions. And of course one's Wotan would be so different, because now you have a daughter, as he had his favorite Brünnhilde.
It's a different level of understanding the piece and the moment.
Oh, it's an Everest. To think that I've done these cycles and have managed to sing these operas, because yeah, they're all very different characters, the Rheingold and the Valkyrie and the Siegfried Wotans, but still you have to say a story and keep it alive, because there are very long 40 minutes sometimes of monologues between characters that test the singer, the conductor, the orchestra, even the audiences. So trying to keep that palette full of colors was always something that I kept very imaginative on the stage.
So from what I understand, no chance of seeing you in operas like Parsifal or Tristan and Isolde?
No, I don't think there are roles for me within. Of course, I could sing Amfortas, but I think that ship has long gone, because I remember I auditioned in Bayreuth once for Giuseppe Sinopoli to do their performances of Parsifal in the summer after, and I wasn't successful. So that was my Bayreuth career finished.
If it were for you to choose one role that you would play till the rest of your life, what would that be?
Oh, that's a terrible question. What would that be? Well, of course, with Mozart operas, you sing them in the beginning of your career, and somehow they taper out. Some singers carry on singing it, like Thomas Hampson has sang The Count forever. Simon Keeneside has just done Le Nozze di Figaro at the Royal Opera House. They still carry on singing it. I wish I would stay young to sing Figaro, because Figaro and Le Nozze di Figaro has everything: all the arias, all the duets, the quartets, magnificent recitatives that you can really work hard at developing. So I would say Figaro was the most special role. If I would say of a role that you can encompass within your career, because I've stopped finishing Figaro. I remember I sang it in the Metropolitan once, and I thought, it's not me anymore. And I had great colleagues, and Harteros was there, Dame Margaret Price came in to do one performance, and I thought, no, I should hang up his boots now. But my real favorite is Verdi's Falstaff. And hopefully I can sing this when I'm the age that he wrote the opera. I'm in my 80s. I'll be in my wheelchair saying, yes, I can still sing it.
What do you do in your free time?
In my free time, I like to think over my career. I've developed an interest and a little bit of knowledge in wine. So I collect a lot of wine, and being in the cellar gives me lots of pleasure and anecdotes. But if it's something that, golf is something that I particularly enjoy, and I like to play snooker.
The last question. This year, the festival's motto will be "The World in Harmony." What does this motto mean to you?
The world in harmony. Well, of course, we are fortunate to be in the world of music, and music can transcend so many. It can connect people. It's a bridge. It's the Valhalla bridge that Donna builds. Not just in the profession of music, but singing is something very special. For illnesses like dementia, for instance. I can go into a dementia home and I can sing a hymn in Welsh, and they will sing this hymn perfectly. Note correct, word correct. And they'll recognize me, Bryn, the singer. And after they finish singing that hymn, they'll ask me, who am I? What did we just sing? We have to keep the importance of it, and I think that's what the world and harmony of music would mean to me, is that we still develop things for families, even through illnesses. You know, I've been written letters about songs played in weddings and in funerals, and I feel very, very privileged to be a part of this amazing, harmonious world.